Welcome back to a new session in molecular biology. In this session, we'll be looking into in detail the eukaryotic DNA sequences. So what is specific about the eukaryotic DNA sequences? So when we looked into the concept of C-value, we found that compared to the prokaryotes, in the eukaryotes, the amount of the genome, especially the haploid genome, it was so high, right? It From the prokaryotes to eukaryotes, there was a huge increase in the amount of the genome. Similarly, from the lower eukaryotes to higher eukaryotes, if we see with the complexity of the organisms, the amount of genome increased. So what was the reason behind that? The major reason behind that is the presence of repeated sequences, or those sequences which are not maybe transcribed or translated. So uh, we are here in this presentation. In detail, we'll be looking into the eukaryotic DNA sequences, the composition of the eukaryotic DNA. Now, what are the distinct components in the complex genome of a eukaryote? We can see that the eukaryotic DNA sequences can be differentiated into three groups, starting from single copy DNA, moderately repeated DNA, and highly repeated DNA. Okay, as you can see, the single copy DNA, or we say the unique sequence DNA. Okay, it is referred as unique sequence DNA. As the name suggests, these DNA sequences usually they are present in the genome only in single copies. That is, it may be present only in a single copy, or it may be present a few more copies, but still unique sequences DNA, or the single copy of DNA, the number of the copies of a particular sequence is usually restricted to one or two, right? And they are highly complex, and these DNA sequences contain much of the information which are going to get transcribed and translated into proteins. Okay, so these sequences are highly functional, in the sense they are highly important for uh, the integrity of the organism. Now, the coming to the next group, moderately repeated DNA sequences. So these sequences, they are repeated many times. Okay, and this may range from 10 to 10,000. We will be looking in detail later. These moderately repeated sequences, DNA sequences, they are moderately complex as compared with the unique sequence DNA, and they contain only little information. They do have DNA, what you call the base sequences or the nucleotide sequences, but these sequences may rarely get transcribed, and even if it is transcribed, it may not be getting translated later. So that is why it is referred as little information, right? That is, the gene expression or DNA expression, it is very rare in moderately repeated DNA sequences. Coming to the highly repeated DNA sequences, these DNA sequences, the same DNA sequence may be repeated multiple times, and it may be usually higher than 100,000 times. Okay, now the complexity is very low, and almost no information. So these regions, where the highly repeated DNA sequences are found, these regions usually they are what you call transcription wise or translation wise, they are highly inactive. Okay, so we can see each one in detail. So as we have seen, eukaryotic DNA, it comprises three major classes based upon the what you call repetitions, or what the nature of the sequences. Unique sequence DNA, or as we have mentioned, single copy DNA, they consist of sequences that exist in one or only a few copies. One or two copies may be present of the same sequence, but they are highly active with respect to transcription and translation, very important for the sustenance of the organism. Moderately repetitive DNA, they consist of sequences that may be several hundred base pairs in length, and it is present in thousands to hundreds of thousands of copies, right? Then highly repetitive DNA, it contains very short sequences. These DNA sequences may be represented many times, but each sequence, if you look into, they are formed of very short nucleotide base sequence. Okay, they are repeated in tandem and is present in hundreds of thousands to millions of copies, right? So all these three kinds of DNA sequences are found in the eukaryotic DNA or eukaryotic genome. Okay, now we'll see what the unique DNA sequences are all about. As already mentioned, the unique DNA sequences are present only once, or at most a few times in the genome, And they are also referred as non-repetitive DNA sequences. Why is it? Because they are not repeated. Unlike the highly repetitive or moderately repetitive sequences, they are very rarely repeated. They are very rarely found in repetition. And as already mentioned, they are highly active, both transcription wise and translation wise, because they include, these unique DNA sequences include sequences that encode proteins, right? So they are highly they contain information load that can be transcribed and translated. These genes or these DNA sequences which are present in single copy, usually they constitute to about 25 to 50% of the protein encoding genes in most of the multicellular eukaryotes. And in humans, these unique sequences, they amount to about 55 to 60% of the total genome. When you speak about the examples, we can see that these unique DNA sequences, they are not all, but some of them, they are present in several similar but not identical copies, and together they are referred as gene family. Okay, so a gene family, it is actually those unique DNA sequences which are not identical but mostly similar, and these copies, they usually occur together. Most gene families, they arise through duplication of an existing gene, and they usually include a few member genes, and typical example is that of immunoglobulin proteins in vertebrates. Okay, in these immunoglobulin proteins, they usually are the gene family of immunoglobulin proteins. They contain hundreds of members. Okay, I hope you remember that immunoglobulin, it is formed of the heavy chain and light chain, and there are different genomic components which contributes to different types of these heavy chain and light chain. Okay, then coming to the next gene family, it is beta like globins, and the genes that encode beta like globins in humans, it includes 7 beta globin genes which are clustered together on the chromosome 11. And the polypeptides which are encoded by these genes, they join with alpha globin polypeptides to form the hemoglobin. And I suppose you know that a hemoglobin molecule, it is composed of 2 alpha and 2 beta globin polypeptides. So the genes which are responsible for the beta globin polypeptides, it is present on chromosome 11, and we can see there are 7 set of beta globin genes found together, and hence they form a gene family. And in these gene families, they represent the unique DNA sequences. Okay. Coming to the repetitive DNA. Repetitive DNA, those sequences which are present in multiple copies, isn't it? More like hundreds or thousands or millions of copies may be formed. And these sequences, they can be classified into highly repetitive and moderately repetitive. Okay, these highly repetitive sequences, they are otherwise referred as satellite DNAs, and they are of various types, starting from microsatellites, mini satellites, and multiple copy genes. And these are examples like multiple copy genes. rRNA genes are a typical example of that. Mini satellites, the VNTR, variable number tandem repeats, they are again examples for mini satellites. And dinucleotides, they are examples for microsatellites. They are very small. Okay, the repeating sequence, it may contain only 2 bases. Now, moderately repetitive sequences can be further divided into tandem repeats and interspersed retrotransposons or interspersed sequences. Okay, there are 2 types, the signs and lines, and ALU sequence, or the sequence belonging to ALU family. It is a typical an example for the signs, which is actually short interspersed sequences, and the long interspersed sequences, the example is L1 or the line 1. Each of these categories we'll be looking in detail in the coming slides. Okay, now moderately repetitive DNA sequences. It's a major class of repetitive DNA, and it typically consists of sequences which like span from 150 to 300 base pair in length. That is, the sequences are repeated, and each of these repeating sequences may be composed of like 150 to 300 base pairs in length, and these may be repeated thousands of times. Okay, some of these sequences, they perform important functions for the cell, even though moderately repetitive DNA sequences doesn't have much of a role as compared with unique sequence, but they do have functional role. They are, some of these repetitive DNA sequences are transcribed and translated. As we have already seen, moderately repetitive the DNA sequences, the example is those genes are responsible for the rRNAs and tRNAs. These rRNAs and tRNAs, the genes are transcribed but not translated, isn't it? Right? So these are example for moderately repetitive DNA sequences. And much of the moderately repetitive DNAs, they don't have any function. So these are obviously very important because rRNA, it is a very important component that later complexes with ribosomal proteins to form the complete ribosome. And tRNAs, as you are already aware, the tRNAs are responsible, they are considered as an adapter molecule or a transporter for amino acids during the translation process. Okay, now moderately repetitive DNA, it can be of two types, right? Tandem repeat sequences and interspersed repeat sequences. Tandem repeat sequences, they appear one after another, and they tend to be clustered at particular locations on the chromosomes. So these tandem repeat sequences, they're usually clustered. Okay, same sequence may be repeated plenty of times, and all these repeats, they may be clustered together and on a particular location on the chromosome. Okay, now interspersed repeat sequences, that is the second category of the moderately repetitive DNA sequences, they are scattered throughout the genome. And as we have already seen, two kinds of interspersed repeat sequences can be found in the eukaryotic DNA genome. That is long interspersed repeat sequences or lines, and short interspersed repeat sequences or the signs. Now, the lines, they are actually mammalian retrotransposons. Transposons, I hope you know, it is the jumping genes, right? Retrotransposons, that is, which do have the what you call this one, what you call the reverse transcription ability. Okay, so retrotransposons, they are mammalian retrotransposons that uh, lack long terminal repeats. Okay, now almost 21% of the genome we can find lines, they occupy almost 21% of the genome, and usually consists of repeated sequences of up to 6,500 base pair length, and all of these lines do have an adenine rich sequence at the 3' end. I hope it is clear. So each of the line sequence, it is a repeated sequence, they are 6,500 base pair length, and these lines, they end at in a adenine rich region at the 3' end. Okay, and typical example is L1, which are dispersed throughout the human genome, which is a typical example for the lines. And these L1 elements, they comprise about 17% of the human genome. Okay, now next we have is the signs or the short interspersed repeat sequences. They are repetitive segments of about 100 to 400 base pairs with tandem duplication. That is, these sequences, they are repeated. Okay, tandem duplication, they're just copied and then added onto the same like a chromosome. So, and it is rich in cytosine, guanosine, this dinucleotide. Okay, CG rich segments we can see, and these segments, they are separated by A rich segments, adenine rich segments. Okay, they do not code for any protein, and they are not capable of autonomous insertion, unlike the lines. As already mentioned, the lines are retrotransposons. So the transposons, they do have the ability to move from one part of the genome and get added to the another one, right? But such a kind of ability is absent in the case of the short interspersed repeat sequences. And the most abundant type of sign sequences in humans, it comes under the ALU family, the famous ALU sequences, and it is having these many copies, which comprises of about 6% of the total human genome. Okay, one ALU repeat, it occurs about once in every 3 kilobases in the human genome. That is, every 3 kilobases you can find one ALU sequence. Okay, ALU repeat actually. And the full length ALU repeat is a dimer of about 280 base pairs. Sorry, B is missing, 280 base pairs. And each of the monomer of this dimer is 120 base pairs in length. And these ALU repeats, it is followed by a short sequence which is rich in adenine residues. As the 11% of the total human genome, we can find the ALU sequences, and they are specific for primate genomes. Okay, so the highly repetitive DNA sequences we will be looking in detail in the next video. Okay, thank you.